All right. Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. And today we're going deep on something that might sound a little, well, dry at first. But trust me, it's way more interesting than you might think.
Definitely more interesting than it sounds at first.
And honestly, it's something that is relevant to just about everybody.
Yeah.
We're talking about visualizing software architecture.
Uh-huh.
Now, I know what you might be thinking, software architecture. That's for the tech wizards, the coders in the basement, right?
Mm-hmm.
But actually, it's the backbone of any system, whether it's a website, a mobile app, even a simple coffee maker.
Pretty much.
It's the blueprint that defines how everything works together. And the thing is, explaining this stuff, well, it can get messy.
Yeah, it can get very complicated.
Especially when you try to talk to different people, developers, project managers, CEOs, clients.
Stakeholders, yeah.
They all need to understand the system, but at different levels of detail. And that's where things can get lost in translation. But fear not, dear listeners, because today we're going to explore a secret weapon for making sense of all this, the C4 model.
The C4 model.
Created by this brilliant guy named Simon Brown.
Simon Brown, yeah.
And it's kind of like having a magical blueprint that you can zoom in and out of, showing you the software at different levels of detail.
That's a really great way to put it.
So let's start with the highest level, the big picture view. This is the context level.
Yes, the context level.
And it's perfect for showing non-techies what the system is all about. It's like a map of the overall environment. In one of the articles we read, they use this really cool e-commerce platform example to illustrate this.
That's a good one.
So at the context level, you'd see the customers, right, interacting with the system, placing orders, and then you'd also see things like the payment gateways.
Right, processing the payment.
Yeah, and the shipping providers, making sure those packages arrive on time.
Right.
All working together in this intricate web. It's really cool to see how it all connects.
Absolutely. It's like a high-level ecosystem view, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's all without any of the technical jargon, so anyone can understand it. So what happens when we want to zoom in a little closer? What's the next level down?
So the next level down is the container level, and this is where we start to see the building blocks of the system.
The building blocks, okay.
Think of it like if the context level is like looking at a city from a helicopter,
Yeah.
the container level is like zooming in and seeing the individual buildings.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, so in our e-commerce example, we might have a web app for customers to browse products, an order management system.
Right, to handle all the behind-the-scenes stuff.
To handle all the behind-the-scenes stuff, exactly. And then, of course, our database to store all the important information.
Yeah, all that juicy data.
Yeah. And so you start to see how these different containers connect and interact with each other. And this level, this is really important for the tech folks.
The developers and the engineers, right?
Yeah, they need to understand how things are structured. If they need to troubleshoot an issue, they can look at the container diagram and see, okay, which part of the system is causing the problem.
Right, gives them a much clearer roadmap to follow.
It does. It does.
So are we ready to delve even deeper? What's behind door number 3?
All right, so now we're going even deeper. We're cracking open those containers, and we're looking at the component level. This is where we see the inner workings of each container.
So this is like seeing the gears turning, right?
Exactly. It's like looking inside a clock and seeing all the tiny gears and springs that make it tick. So let's go back to our order management system example.
Okay.
At the component level, we would see things like the order processor, the module that handles payments, the notification system that sends emails to customers.
So each of these components has a specific job to do.
Each one has a very specific job to do, yes.
And they all work together to keep that container running smoothly.
To keep the container running smoothly, exactly.
This is really cool. And I can see how this level of detail would be super helpful, not just for the developers, but also for project managers.
Oh, absolutely.
Trying to understand how changes in one part of the system might affect other parts.
Yes, exactly.
It's all about understanding dependencies and avoiding those, oh no, we broke something moments.
Yeah, and you can see how a change in one component, like if you updated the payment module to accept a new type of credit card,
Right.
well, that might affect the notification system, which would then need to be updated to send out confirmations for that new card type.
Yeah, it's like a chain reaction.
It is. And this is where that visualization becomes really powerful.
Okay, so we've gone from the big picture down to the nitty-gritty details. Is there anything else? Is there another level?
So there is one more level, but it's optional.
Optional, okay.
And it's really more for the hardcore developers. This is the code level. And as you might guess, this is where you actually see the lines of code.
So we're talking hardcore techie stuff here.
We're talking hardcore techie stuff, yes. But even though most people won't ever need to look at this level, it's still an important part of the model because it shows that everything ultimately boils down to code.
Right.
And there are tools that can help visualize this level as well, things like UML diagrams.
UML diagrams.
Yeah, and these can be really helpful for developers to understand how the code is structured and how it all fits together.
So the C4 model, it's like this incredible journey from the 30,000-foot view down to the microscopic level.
It is. It is.
And it makes me wonder, beyond the tech world, are there other areas where this kind of thinking, this kind of visualization could be useful?
Oh, absolutely. Any complex system can benefit from this approach.
Okay.
Think about planning a large event, for example. You could use the C4 model to map out all the different moving parts: the venue, the catering, the entertainment, the guest list.
Right. You could see how a change in one area, like a delay in catering,
Yeah.
might have a ripple effect on the schedule for the entire event.
Exactly. Or even something as simple as organizing your kitchen.
Ooh, interesting.
You could use the C4 model to visualize the different zones in your kitchen, the appliances, the storage, the workflow. It might help you optimize your space and become a more efficient chef.
So the C4 model isn't just about software. It's about thinking visually, about understanding complex systems and making them more manageable.
And making them more understandable, yes.
I love it. And that's a wrap for our deep dive into the C4 model. Big thanks to our expert for breaking it all down for us.
It was my pleasure.
And for our listeners, I hope you found this as fascinating as we did. Remember, even if you're not a tech whiz, the principles of the C4 model can be applied to so many different areas of life. So next time you're facing a complex challenge, try thinking visually, try breaking it down into levels, and see if it helps you make sense of the chaos. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.
Keep diving deep.